Pulled up in them chrome rims, sucking on some Slim Jims. Kiss your sister on a whim. About to do some cocaine at Yogurt Land. I'm the man. Undress your girl, I call that off-brand. I might have to pop Zans at the Wendy's. I don't wanna go outside, it's kinda windy. Jeez. Hey, my name is Gerbert. I think I'm a kind of a cool guy, you know. Nothing too special about me. Not too smart, not too athletic. My cock is certainly nothing to write home about, but I'm here. You know, wish it was longer, wish it was stronger, wish it had more oomph, you know. I wish it had more oomph, but it doesn't. Well, I mean, I guess I was, I guess the Lord compensated when he made me, you win some, you lose some, because I was blessed with awfully dexterous fingers that do allow me to blast with the best of them. Fans of this channel may know I am kind of a master blaster. If there was a Guinness Book of World's record for fingering, I'm sure I would be one of the strongest contenders. Because I blast rapidly and with a lot of technique that I think is very underappreciated. So that's just, and you know, I'll let you. I've talked about it before. You can look at some of my past videos to know the secrets. No, I'll reiterate. I think it's very important. You take your ring and your middle. You go in. About, well, it depends on the height of the woman, I would say. You go in about 2 to 3 inches, then you curve up, back around. On the inside, you go in and hook, like a hook. And that is where the notorious G spot is located. And if a guy wrote to me. Let me pull these up. Thought they were pretty interesting. Hello, Gerby. I was just watching one of your videos. Getting a GF won't make you happy, and I wanted to DM you. Firstly, I like your videos a lot, and you helped me do really well in NoFap. I slipped recently, but I'm improving again. It's all good, brother. The main reason I'm DMing you is to give another perspective, I suppose. I like a lore of your viewers, it seems. Was one of those high school shy loser types. I was bullied a bit too, so I kind of isolated myself. I just read and studied and promised myself that going to an international university, I'm from Ireland, would solve my problems. I gave up masturbating before moving and realized just how lonely I was. This semester was very hard for me, as a lot of the problems which had previously been covered came to light. That's just my own background to provide context. Often in your videos, I get the feeling of utter despair, that this generation is completely doomed. I would say, as someone who has faced both sides, this is not true. All right. I'm sure you get the general theme of what we're talking about here. I don't like being in an echo chamber. I like hearing feedback and talking about it. I just you know, I don't want to be preaching to the choir, just be saying the same stuff over and over, because I definitely have been getting a little doomerish recently, and maybe it's time for Gerby to switch around. Let's see. Let's see the next one. Things are not the same as they were before social media. That is true. But I don't think that what you're describing exists to the extent that you say it does. Stepping away from social media and forcing myself to talk constantly to new people showed me that there an awful. Okay, so that's not my fault. It's just a. You're from Ireland. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe your grammar's different. There an awful lot of really kind, interesting people out there. Oh, he just used the wrong there. Many want long-term healthy relationships. Many want a partner for more than their looks. I do not think this generation is doomed, but I think certain aspects of social media like to reinforce the idea that it is. This is not writing to criticize. I enjoy your channel. It's also not to say I haven't been disappointed by some of the things you describe. All I want to do is show a different perspective, that even though the world is not ideal, there is a better life for lads who were once lonely and felt isolated. I have found that the world is really quite beautiful. All right. Some good stuff. There's a lot I would want to talk about here. I don't want to get all jumbled up. Let's go one at a time. Exists to the extent you say it does. Yeah, so I think it's pretty easy to get lost in this sort of doom or black pill ideas, you know. you go on the internet and you consume all this, and it could really spiral, but you go outside and the birds are chirping, you see people walking around, whatever, everything seems fine, you know. But really what I'm doing is looking at trends I see now and sort of projecting them into the future. So, you know, some of these trends might not be that pronounced now, but I just see them only intensifying as we move into the future. And that might be a fallacy, because I suppose it is possible these things, there could be a reversal. To be honest, if I were a betting man, if I were a gambling man, I would put money down on, you know, societal decline. If I'm being real, I think if you look at where we are now and you look at the trends, these things are not easily reversible. They don't just reverse like that. Things like the birth rate steadily declining. Things like gender separation, gender dynamics declining. Things like the rate of male loneliness increasing. Things like inflation rapidly increasing. And this is furthered by, you know, an idea that I have that's debatable, but I'm sure I'll have a lot of people who agree and disagree. It's furthered by the idea that I have that, and it's not even my idea that I invented, but that it's that there's a little bit of a plot. This is not just how things are shaking out. This is sort of an orchestration, a plan to, to put it frankly, isolate and atomize individuals so they become optimal consumers for the neoliberal global superstructure, turning the world sort of into a giant shopping mall. The ideal consumer is not a family that can buy one house and can make meals for them and buy one set of furniture for everyone. The ideal consumer is someone who is alone and needs to fill the void by buying everything for themselves, you know, spiking the house market, everybody individually looking for homes and needing to fill their void with endless consumption. That's a little bit of an insight. I see a plot going on, and you may disagree. So that one of the reasons I would say there's not going to be a reversal is because They don't plan for there to be a reversal. And I think these people are quite smart. These, well, let's say elites that own all these things, all these companies that people will be consuming from, right? So there's that. But when you talk about people, you talk about... Okay, yeah, there's a few more things I want to address. You're right. I think most people are like well-intentioned, good folks. That's not, I don't think I've ever said anything to extent that, well, I guess I don't trust people. I find it hard to trust people, which I think is reasonable. You could go too far off of that, but I think it's kind of reasonable to not be too trustful of people, because like, it's not that they're not well-intentioned, it's just that it's weird because it's easy to look back in your past and paint yourself as constantly the victim, but if you really think about it, I'm sure there are plenty of times when you were a kid and you didn't know what was going on that you hurt other people or you caused trauma for other people in school or things like that, but your mind just doesn't register it because for you were just going about your day. Nothing happened of note that your memory would retain. When you get hurt, your memory retains it. But you could have been a devil, but you don't remember that. So that's something interesting. Because for a while I had this idea that like there were so many kids at school who were just like exhibited like so much psychopathic tendencies, but who's to say I didn't do shit like that too? I just don't register it because it didn't affect me. I think that kids are just, they're not like, they haven't fully developed their sense of compassion yet. So that's something. Social media. Yeah, and also social media is just an accelerant. It's just like lighter fluid. It's just an amplifier. The truth is, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And what we are doing as Generation Alpha, Generation Z, and Millennials is we are comparing ourselves to what is called the greatest generation up to the baby boomers. Sort of the like 1930 to 1980, 1990. This sort of period, with a peak at 1970, is one of like the peaks of human civilization in general. It was right after World War II where a bunch of excess men went off to war and died. And there was a demographic situation where healthy population pyramid, lots of births, baby boomers, that's why they're called that, because there was a baby boom. And that's always a good thing. Like everything tracked with them. When they were young, everything was marketed towards them. They were the biggest demographic youth. So when they were young, everything was marketed as toys. There was all this stuff, and then they grew up into rock music and all this. And a lot of media now is just recycled nostalgia from that. That's how powerful it was back then. Young people are no longer the majority. The average age is 40. They're, baby boomers are still like, they're everywhere. Anyway, lost a little bit of a train thought. We're comparing ourselves to this peak. It was a zone where things worked. Monogamy and guys, every man getting a girl, that's not even close to the standard for history. It goes against the scientific evidence. We are comparing ourselves to a Goldilocks zone that isn't common for history. It's not normal for monogamy. It's not normal for every man to get one woman and everybody to be in a relationship. Like we've been fed these white lies. That was just those are just small periods of history where that happens. For most of history, there always were, even in that time there were a small amount, but for most of history there always were and always will be depressed men with nothing. Incels. And it really just shows how ignorant people are when they, or, I guess crude or like malevolent people are when they attack these sorts of men, because, historically they're always there. Like, it's just a fact. They're, this period we're looking at is just a small point in history where it worked out, because all these men went off to war, and there were 2 women for every man in this time period, demographically, in the effective gender, like, dating market ratio. And now that's sort of been flipped on its head in the effective ratio. And we had economic prosperity, but after we have this baby boom, it's just natural. Society swings up and down. And we had that peak, and now we're on the decline. There could be a reversal. We could be going back up again. Again, if I was a betting man, I would not bet for that. And, I in a way, we kind of are betting men. I don't want to have these super high expectations for the future, like everything's going to be great, because there's a good chance that will just make me very disappointed and sad. And when I talk about all these things, I'm really not a sad person. I'm really not. I'm chillin'. I'm genuinely chillin'. I'm not really a super neurotic person. If I talk about these things and people think I'm unhinged or whatever, that's just projecting. It ain't my fault you're too bitch to handle. I just call it how I see it, and you're too bitch to handle it. That ain't on Gerbert. I look at all of it. I see all of it happening. I'm like, oh, it's happening. That's that. I'm actually fine. I like life. I'm having a good time. I enjoy the simple things. You know what I mean? Like doing cocaine at Wendy's and kissing hot women in the mouth. So, that's all I gotta say. No, it's not all I gotta say. Whoop, whoop. Even though the world is not ideal, there's a better life for lads who were once lonely and felt isolated. I felt that the world really is quite beautiful. That's nice. That's dope. I think that's cool. Yeah, there was more I wanted to say, and Gerby's gonna get to it, baby. Daddy's gonna get to it. This always happens. I don't know if I'm just low IQ or ADHD or what's going on. Maybe I need to write stuff down, but that ruins the whole point. I want it to be raw and unfiltered, these videos. I don't want to write shit down. That's for the birds. That shit's for the birds. Many want long-term, healthy relationships. Yeah. Yeah. But look, I'm getting it back. There's society goes up and it goes down. We sort of peaked in the 1970s. This was a golden age. The baby boomer age was a golden age, and we go back down. We still are in a very privileged spot. We didn't have to go to war. Even a lot of baby boomers can't say that. There was Vietnam and stuff like that. We don't have to go to war. We have food and water. All these things we take for granted, food and water and shelter. And in the Western world, we are still rich compared to a lot of people. So there's plenty to be grateful for. I mean, the thing about not having to go to war is a massive, treat. It's really great. Because I don't know about you, it sounds like it kind of sucks ass. You might be playing Call of Duty like, oh, this would be sick. I don't know, dog. I don't think you'd be chilling. It honestly doesn't really sound like a vibe. Just going and shooting other people because some folks, just going and shooting folks. I mean, that's not cool. Why can't we all just chill? Why can't we all just vibe and chill, Why can't we just smoke that reefer and give each other hand jobs and listen to what's his name? Listen to that guy. Yeah, I'm burned out. I can't say things. I can't sound intelligent or be good anymore. Damn, I can only talk for like 20 minutes. I guess that's kind of good. I'll get better as I keep doing it. Let me stop. Bye-bye.